Ladies and guys who have lost their goddamn minds, Andy here, author of the best Tinder guide on the internet, and guy who's also lost his fucking mind and decided to do a 365-day project. This is the Kill Your Inner Loser show. Let's fucking go. Oh my god, I have lost my fucking mind, guys. I've done it. I've agreed, I've been nagged into, I've been convinced to do another 365-day project. So once a day for the next year, for the next 365 days. Wait, is this a leap year? Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. It's not a leap year, guys. I've told you I've lost my fucking mind. Every day for the next 365 days, I am going to upload either one YouTube video or one YouTube short or an article or a podcast over on my Spotify channel or a BDSM artwork, which I'll either put on my blog or my Instagram. So one of those 5 different bits of content, as long as I publish one piece of content that's any of those categories, I'll be a happy boy every single day for the next 365 days. Why? The fuck is wrong with me? I'm a man of my own free will and I take full responsibility for everything I do, but let's blame my good friend Cam. You guys know him as Radical Improvements. We'll blame good old Cam for this one. Cam has started his own second 365-day project, and if you guys were, some of you OGs who were here from the start, you know that I started my podcast by doing a 365-day project. I can't talk. And that was basically how Imi and I got through a lot of the 2020 lockdowns and all of, the crazy shit that happened there and some of our darker periods and our depression and stuff like that. By doing something every single day, it gave us a purpose, right? When we couldn't go outside, when we were, and, we lived in a state where you weren't allowed to go outside for more than 1 hour a day. It was fucking crazy. And this project gave us purpose. This project gave us a reason to get up in the morning. And so I was doing one podcast a day, and Imi, my girlfriend, was doing one piece of artwork every single day. And it really did get us through a really dark period of our life. And for Imi, she got so much out of it as well because she, progressed probably, 5 fucking years in confidence with her artwork. And, when you do something every single day repeatedly for a fucking year, it feels like 5 or 10 years worth of progress. I myself, if I hadn't done that, Jesus, guys, I don't think I'd be sitting here on this YouTube channel. I probably would have taken another couple of years to work up the confidence to be able to sit in front of you because it's quite intimidating at the start, right? And so, a 365 project is amazing. It's magical. It's a fucking life-changing experience. And before that, I had done a photography one as well, which was equally as amazing. And so my good friend Cam, again, you guys know him as Radical Improvements on YouTube. He has been... he started his own YouTube Shorts 365 project a couple of weeks ago. And he's been doing the classic Cam thing where he was sort of I'll use the word nag, but it's not really the right word because it sounds like a negative thing, right? But he will encourage through the use of nagging for me to do something that he knows deep down I want to do. And he's just he's a really good friend and he always sort of encourages and shit like that. And so he's been nagging for the last 3 weeks and saying, come on, Andy, you're being a pussy. When are you going to start this 365 project? You know you're going to do it. We both know you're going to do it. Just hurry up and do it. And I've been saying well, Cam, I just don't know if I'm going to do a project. I did the last 2 and they're a lot of work. And he's like, yeah, Andy, come on. When are you going to start? And so, Cam, you were right. You already knew you were right. You already knew that I would do this. You knew with enough nagging that I would do it. And to be fair, if there's ever something that I don't want to do, I just tell him, dude, I'm not going to do that. But we both knew that I was going to do this. And last night I was talking to one of the girls that we're seeing. And we should give her a nickname. So I don't have to just keep saying one of the girls that we're fucking seeing. We'll give her a nickname. She might actually watch this video. I might give her this video. So it's got to be a nice nickname. We'll call her Narrow Girl. Narrow as in the opposite of wide. And she's going to like that. She's going to like that fucking nickname. That's a very private joke. Anyway, so Narrow Girl. I was talking to her last night and she showed us some art that she recently done. And it looks like she's been a painter in the past and she's just taken a break from it. So she showed us some art and I was like, this is really fucking good. Why don't you do more? And she said, I'm trying to do more. Yeah, I'd like to do more, blah, blah, blah. And I sort of threw out there, why don't you do something like a 365-day project where you just do one thing, do a little bit of painting every single day for a year. And, you progress all this way. It's lots of fun. Imi and I have done one. It's great. and she was kind of curious. We showed her our previous 365-day projects. She liked those. And then, from there, I kind of just said, like, fuck it, why don't you just do it? And she goes, you know what? Maybe I will. And so I had a little dare with her. I said, if you get to week 2, if you get to day 14 of your 365-day project, I've had a friend that's been nagging me, Cam, fuck it, maybe I'll do it as well. And I woke up this morning and I was like, you know what? Like, she's probably going to get to day 14. And even if she doesn't, what do I care? Like, I'm going to do this goddamn project. So here I am, insane again, doing another 365-day project, but really excited and looking forward to it. So, I guess on the previous note of nagging with Cam, I want to stop using that word, encouragement. Cam encouraging me. I've done so many videos on this, guys. Like, I will always be grateful to my friend Cam. He's fucking amazing. Like, the forums would not exist if it wasn't for him. That was him literally nagging me or encouraging me for like 2 months. Dude, start a forums. Dude, you have to have a forums. There's so many people that need help with self-improvement. Dude, let's like have a forums and we can all encourage everyone. It'll be amazing. And I literally only did that because he kept like nagging, for want of a better word. He encouraged me to talk more about my experiences with, cold approach, as in going outside, saying hello to women. Hi, you're cute. What are you up to? Like introducing myself, all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't have done content on that if it wasn't for him. He encouraged me, and he's still encouraging me to do more content about business. And he's encouraged me to do my first paid video course, the threesome guide that some of you have watched. And so, big shout out to Cam. Like, at the end of the day, I really appreciate you, man. I really, really, really do appreciate you. We will be fucking crushing it with this 365-day project. It will be fucking amazing. And I tell you what, I'll leave a link in the description to his channel. Go check his channel out. He gives fashion and style advice, and I'm smiling because I'm remembering how far he has come in the, like, I don't know how long I've known him now, like 3 or 4 years, 5 years? I don't know, something like that. When I first met him, so he was a coaching client of mine, and we met in person, and we met with, a few different goals, but I think one of them was like he wanted more confidence with women. I think that was his biggest goal at the time. And we met, and his shirt had holes in it. I know I'm like a broken record. I tell this story all the time because it's fucking funny. Because now he's like the style guru, and he like absolutely fucking knows his shit. He's built an entire business around style, right? He's built an entire YouTube channel around style and fashion and all of that. When he met me, again, remembering he meets me so that he can get more confidence with women and learn how to talk to women and be like, have more of a sex and a dating life, right? And he meets me with holes in his fucking shirt. And I was like, bro, you dress like you're homeless. You dress like your mum bought those shirts for you, and now you're homeless. And he goes, my mum did buy. And so, yeah, I'm throwing my boy under the bus here, but I've told this story a million times. He tells this story too. It's pretty fucking funny that, the guy who went from holes in his shirt is now absolutely crushing it. So I'll leave a link to his content in the description. Radical Improvements. Really recommend checking him out. Like, it's good fucking content. He's doing like I said, a 365 project at the moment. He's doing YouTube shorts, so one every day. I'm going to mess around with that formula more too. I just did a YouTube short the other day, so if you guys haven't seen that, you have to go into the channel and you have to click shorts. Like, it doesn't show up in the main video feed, which is kind of a good thing because then you don't get spammed with shorts. But that was pretty fun. It's a fun fucking format. You have to keep it really short to a minute, which you guys know is not my forte. Keeping stuff short is not my forte, but hey, fuck it. So, appreciate you, Cam. Love you big time. Love you long time. And what else am I going to talk about here? Yeah, fuck it. Okay, so the girl that we're seeing, Narrow Girl, that's a goofy nickname. So I'll tell you what I might do. I'll ask her, because she's probably going to watch this video. So I'll just ask her, if you guys care and if she wants to, we'll see if she wants to show off some of her painting once she's done a few more, once she's further along in the project, assuming she does continue with the project. But I guess me doing this video is also going to kind of push her to do it, right? Because it's like, she's got a lot of people watching going like, I better do this project. So guys, leave a comment I tell you what, leave a comment in the description and tell her that she has to do the goddamn project. Like, nag her, listen woman, you got to do this goddamn project. Don't let the other narrow girls in the world down. She's going to love that inside joke. But yeah, I tell you what I might do. If she's comfortable with it, I might see if she's cool with like showing some of her photos on screen. Like, maybe we do a follow-up podcast, like, I don't know, a month or two from now, 3 months. See where she's at with that. Maybe I'll even see if she wants to come on the podcast and talk about it. But what we will do, ladies and gentlemen, is, let's go through some of my old 365 projects that I did. So I guess what I can show you the actual like project website, but I'm showing you this to show you that the benefits of a 365 project, I guess, because at the start, when you start your thing, you know, whether you're doing art every day or photography every day or a podcast every day, like it's kind of going to suck a little bit. And the whole point of this thing is you're cramming like 10 years worth of project. It really will feel like 10 years worth of progress. 10 years worth of progress. It's early in the morning, guys. 10 years worth of progress into 365 days. You just come incredible leaps and bounds, not just because you're doing 365 bits of content, which in itself is, if you think about it, more than most people would do in 5 years, right? That's an insane amount. If you're doing a piece of artwork, 365 pieces of artwork is insane. That's an insane amount of work. And so you build up a fucking portfolio. This project, if nothing else, gives you a portfolio. And by the way, it gives you a lot else, but it gives you a big portfolio that you didn't have before. It teaches you to come out of your comfort zone. Often, if you're doing something where you're sharing it, like if you decide you're going to post this every day on Instagram, or you're going to share your art with other people, or if you're doing something like I've seen people do a 365 project. Some of my clients have done one where they just write 100 lines of code, like software engineering. They'll write 100 lines of code. But if you're doing something where you share it with someone, or the greater world, it absolutely makes you come out of your comfort zone, especially if it's something like art or, I've seen other people writing stories or people writing 100 words. If you're just sharing that with other people, that in itself is something that a lot of artists and, creative people struggle with. They really do. And by the way, this project is not just for creative people. I'll talk about that in a second. But, you get so much out of it just having to share or choosing to share your stuff with other people. On top of that, you build so much momentum because you're doing it every single day. It's like you're never rusty with your skills. One of the things that creatives struggle with a lot is if they're taking big breaks between their, their art or their photography or whatever else it is. I should probably make myself full screen while I'm going on this rant, shouldn't I? One of the things creatives struggle with is they're going like periods of time without doing it. Maybe they go a week, sometimes a month, sometimes several months or years. But even if they're just going a couple of days or a couple of weeks without doing it, you're kind of like a little bit rusty. There's like a little bit of like relearning to ride the bike, so to speak. And so if you're doing it every single day, you're not rusty. And other things that you will do, like if you're doing painting every single day, you will just leave your fucking brushes and all that out there. You don't have to keep getting it out of the cupboard or the wardrobe or whatever. It's just there permanently. And so it becomes very much like a part of your life or a part of your soul. A 365 project is a very like intimate experience. It's intimate between you and the art or the endeavor that you're doing. And again, this isn't just for art. Like, I'll talk about some more things that you can do in a second. It is not just for art. It's, for a million different things. You could go outside and give a stranger a compliment every single day for a year. You could write one thing that you're grateful for about people in your life and send that to the person every single day. So pick a different person every day. Maybe your mother, your father, your friends, etc., a barista at your local coffee shop, and just tell them one thing you're grateful for every single day. That would be a beautiful fucking 365 project. But when you do endeavor on this 365-day project, it becomes such an intimate experience. It's like intimate with yourself and intimate with your full potential. And you come to understand, like, you build such a connection with the outside world as well, whether you're sharing your art with other people. And so if you do something creative, I would really recommend that you share it with people. Absolutely. Like, make that a condition. I have to post something on Instagram, or I have to share it on my Facebook wall, or I have to at least tell like a couple of my friends every day. I have to share it with a different person every day. Do something that involves other people. Or if you're doing something like giving a compliment to a stranger every day, well, that's fine. You like literally are doing it with outside people. But it becomes a really beautiful way to connect with the outside world. And again, for me and for Emmy as well, during 2020 with all the lockdowns, and it was over 2021 as well, it was a way to connect to you guys. Like, before that, I was just writing articles. Remember, guys, there was a time I didn't have a YouTube channel. I didn't have a podcast. It wasn't that long ago, right? It's like 2 years. And so it's not that articles were lonely, but they're not as connected as like sitting here in front of the camera or sitting in front of a microphone and talking and getting feedback, getting comments, getting people, engaging to some extent. And so it became a really nice way to connect at a time when Imi and I were both incredibly fucking lonely and depressed. Incredibly so. There was, I've talked about this. There was that day that I was feeling suicidal. I literally was like, holy shit, I feel like killing myself. I feel like there's no way out. And so, having this connection to you guys, or having this like project that was like bigger than me, this is the meaning that a lot of people are searching for in their life, right? Like, people talk about purpose and meaning and like, a higher power and something greater than you. A 365-day project, I'm not exaggerating to say, it becomes something that is greater than you. It becomes more meaningful than, not more meaningful, it's not the right way of saying it, but it becomes this very like meaningful, almost spiritual. I think I would use the word spiritual for a 365-day project. It becomes very spiritual. It's like you wake up, you do something that is like greater than yourself, even on days where you don't want to do it. It's like you shut your mouth and you do it. It's something more important than you. I think it gives you responsibility, which is something that a lot of us are sort of like hungry for or almost desperate for. Like, I want a greater purpose. I want a responsibility. I want to be responsible to other people. That's why I encourage that you share it with other people, or you do something that involves other people, so that you have sort of a responsibility, or in other words, an accountability. So I wouldn't just do a 365 project that you never share with anyone or never involves anyone else. I would at least tell other people in your life that you're doing it. And maybe you say to them, every day, can I just say like done? Can I just send you a text message saying done when I do it? And if I ever don't send that, can you please fucking freak out at me and say, what the hell, you haven't done it? So it gives you responsibility. It gives you a sense of self. You really come to discover yourself in a 365-day project. You really come to understand the like deep parts of your soul. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this, especially on the days where you don't want to do something, where you're tired, you're sick, you just don't want to. You really come to understand yourself and what you're made of. And you build like, it's not even discipline. It's not discipline. It sounds like a 365-day project would require or would build discipline. And it kind of does a little bit, but it's more like, it's like, again, self-love, or it's like some higher purpose. Because you wake up and you go, I'm 200 days or I'm 50 days or whatever. I'm some amount of days into this project. I don't feel like doing it today. If I don't do it, am I going to be happy with myself? Am I going to look in the mirror and like what I see? Or is there going to be some part of me that feels like regret or like a little bit of guilt or like, why did I do that? Why did I skip a day? And so you really, it becomes this like self-affirming, really nice fucking kind thing that you're doing for yourself every day. It's like self-care. It sounds really weird to phrase it like that, but it is like self-care. You wake up, you do a little bit on your 365 project, you do your mission for that day, and you go like, yeah, I did something nice for myself today. I built some discipline. I engaged with my creative side, or I connected with the world, or I just did something. I built something. How many of us are hungry to build something? It's why you guys are here, right? You guys and girls are here for self-improvement. You want to build something. This is building something. You're building something greater than you. And at the end of it, you have if you put it on the internet, you have a monument to your discipline. You have a monument to your self-love. You have a monument to your creativity, or you have a monument to your ability to just stick at something. You have a monument to your ability to not quit. It becomes this like beautiful project, this beautiful like monument / portfolio. It's really freaking nice. And there have been so many times over the years, I can't remember when I finished my 365 project. I think I finished it a long time ago. I think it was like 2013 or 14. Right? So like 8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. I think that's when I finished. I could go and look, but I think it's 8 or 9 years. I still will go back and look through it. Like even now, I will go back and, we're going to do it in a little second. We won't look through the whole thing, but I'll show you a couple of the photos. I would go through and just look at all the photos. I did it last night. And first of all, be amazed that I finished something like that. And the same with my podcast one. I can't believe I did a podcast every day. That's insane. And a photo. You're going to see these photos. I put some of these photos took like 12 hours of effort. And please don't think you have to put that much effort in. One of the tenets of a 365-day project, one of the important parts is have like a bare minimum. And so I did have a couple of days where I'd literally just like take a snapshot and be like, done, I'm fucking done. My grandfather died during my 365-day project. And so I just literally, I took a photo of a flower. I took another photo of me lying down on the grass. For another day, I just took a photo of me like dropping some flower petals. Like I just did, very fucking lazy, easy photos for that. So set a bare minimum So it's so stupidly easy that you'll never skip it, even if you're sick. I had a day where I had food poisoning. I had a day where I had a really bad flu, and I was just like bedridden until like 2 a.m. or something. And so for those, I just literally took a snapshot of myself. I was just like, here's a fucking snapshot. So set a bare minimum. But what point was I making before that? Essentially, it's a really good testament to like your ability to get through struggles, and yeah, it pushes you and encourages you to have that sort of like, again, it's not quite discipline. Discipline doesn't quite get at it, but yeah, anyway, I'll show you some of the photos on screen. So let's have a little fun with this. So it's all on Flickr. I will leave links in the description to all of this if you guys want to go and check it. So, I started out, I had some skills, like I was decent at photography. I was semi-decent at Photoshop, and I just I put effort into trying to be like as creative as I possibly could, right? And to put as much effort in as I possibly could. And before this, guys, I was really terrified. Before I started this 365-day project, I was really terrified to put my art out there. I was really terrified that I wouldn't be good enough. And look, even at the start, I'm clearly decent, right? Like, look at this. Like, I photoshopped a little bowling pin as my head. Like, come on, that's pretty cool. Like, I'm floating in the air, levitating. Next one, I did like a woman, that was my girlfriend at the time, a woman like worshipping Facebook essentially and mobile phones and shit like that. Like, I was clearly decent, right? Like, I put some effort in. Photoshopping is decent, but I was so convinced that I was utter dog shit. And before that, I was not really doing much photography or photoshopping. I would probably take, I don't know, a month to do one photo. And part of the reason why I did this 365 project, this photography one, because I was just sick of like not liking my art and not liking my photography. And it always felt like it was never good enough. And Imi, by the way, that's why she did hers as well. She had the exact same shit. She would take weeks to do just even a simple artwork, and she wouldn't show it to anyone. She would hate it. She'd be very critical. She'd go, look, the lines aren't perfect. The coloring in isn't great. I've fucked up the colors. Like, I would do the same with my photography. I was like, look, the shadows are all wrong. I did a bad job with that photoshopping. Like, I was very critical, and so was she. And at some point, I just said, I want to like my art. Why do I have this hobby, but I hate it? I love this hobby, but I hate the end result. I love the process of doing it, but I just can't get over myself and my big fucking ego, and my ego that says I have to be perfect with my photos. They have to be amazing. And so I threw myself into this 365-day project, and it was absolutely fucking terrifying, by the way. It was one of the scariest things I've ever done. I threw myself into it and said, fuck it. Like, I'm never going to love my art unless I do it every single day. There's that great quote, I think it's by Stephen King. I could be misremembering that, but it's by someone like that who basically says, if you want to be a painter, paint. If you want to be a writer, write. If you want to be a blogger, blog. If you want to be a YouTuber, YouTube. And what he means there, whoever said that, I don't know if it was Stephen King, but whoever said it, what they mean is, if you want to be something, you have to do it. You're not a painter until you paint every day or paint a lot. You're not a photographer until you take a lot of photos. And so I saw the 365-day project as a good way to just sort of speed run and be very efficient at becoming the thing I wanted to be, which was a photographer. I love photography. And so, I flicked through these. Some of these are really fucking cool. I look back and I'm like, God damn, son, that's like cool shit. I was doing some cool shit back then. Here's probably a better version. So these ones this is my blog where I've like carefully curated them, and I'll leave links to all of this in the description. But some of these are pretty fucking cool. Like, I put a lot of effort into some of these fucking things. I really like them. I got pretty decent at Photoshop. I fucking love that one. Look at me juggling with knives. God, I love that one. Let's move it up a little bit. I love that one so much. But I got like pretty decent at photography. And that was just coming from doing something every single day. Like, literally every single day. It will... I don't know if I should show you this one on YouTube. That just came out, didn't it? For a while... Okay, guys. For a while, I had this on my Tinder. Not as the first photo, but this was like the third photo. I don't know why I took it... Oh, I took it down because Tinder kept fucking deleting it. And I kept getting reported and getting my accounts banned and shit. So... I don't know why people would report this. Look at it. It's a great fucking photo. I even called it Toy Story number 4, rated X. Although I think they released a Toy Story 4, didn't they? Anyway. So, point is, I got pretty decent at photography and Photoshop by just doing something every single day. Oh, that day. That was crazy. That was... I was in a local park and my girlfriend just wrapped My girlfriend and I wrapped like fragile tape all around my entire body and around the trees and everything. And people were looking. So many people were looking because I had to scream. Like, I didn't scream, but like had to have my mouth open like this, like I'm screaming. And so many people were walking past going like, what the fuck am I looking at? What the fuck is this? Luckily, I lived in a city where most people were pretty artsy. It was a very art-based city, Melbourne in Australia. And so I think people sort of forgave it, but that one was fun. But yeah, the point is like, I had a lot of fun with this, and most of these are from later on in the project. This was fucking fun. Oh my God. I only had 1 bucket of water, and so it was like a little container of water. So this looks like it's raining, but it's really, my girlfriend pouring 10,000 cups of water on me while I stay still. And then imagine the photoshopping you have to do to blend all of those together and make sure they're all in one photo. So that was a lot of fucking photoshopping, even though it just looks like, I probably could have just gotten a bigger bucket, hey, but whatever. I liked the photoshopping. I liked the challenge. And so the point is, like, if you do something every single day, again, I wasn't this decent at the start of the project. That's kind of the point. I became pretty fucking decent by just doing it every single day. And so if you get nothing else out of the project, but the ability to just hone your skills and work on them, like, oh my God, even that is amazing. You get so many things out of a damn 365 project, but that's one of the biggest ones. I think another one is that you get the creativity, or you feel like you have the freedom to mess around with the medium a little bit. And so if you're doing a photography project, some of my photos are radically different from some of the other ones. I played around with so many different things, colors, different lenses, exposures, different photoshopping. Obviously, a lot of these are very creative and they sort of tell a story. I bought so many props. One of my favorite things to do every single week was go to the local thrift store and just buy like weird props. One of the things I bought was a bowling pin, which I used in so many fucking photos. Actually, I can probably show you guys that. I think I can search for tags on my channel, but I bought this bowling pin. I just saw it randomly in this like thrift store. And I was like, damn, that's like fucking cool. It's a bowling pin. It's like $5. I should buy that. But for some reason in my brain, I was like, I don't want to buy that. Like, whatever. It's stupid. It's a bowling pin. What would I do with a bowling pin? I left the store. I went back and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, it's a goddamn bowling pin. I want a bowling pin. So let me see if I can show you on the screen. I'm pretty sure I can just search for tags. Here we go. And so I bought this bowling pin, right? And it ended up becoming like a really fucking just a prop. Like you can see it there on the left. It became this prop that I used in almost all of my freaking photos. Like there's me holding a bowling pin as a balloon. God, I'm beautiful. Look at me being fabulous, holding that bowling pin there. And so the point is, I used this bowling pin in so many freaking photos. It became like almost a meme, like a common thread in all of my photos where I would just have the damn bowling pin. See a little bowling pin, the eye things look like they're in the shape of a bowling pin. And this bowling pin necklace. I still have that necklace actually. It's in my cupboard. I wear it sometimes. And so bowling pin. I used a bowling pin in so many fucking photos. And it became this really like, where's the bowling pin in that one? I don't know. Maybe there's no bowling pin in that one. Bowling pin necklace. It became this really like nice memento of my 365-day project. And you guys have probably seen, and I've talked about this. Let me get naked for a second. One of the first tattoo I ever got. Let's see if we can see it on camera. There, look. Can you guys see that if I stand up? Bowling pin. I got that bowling pin literally because of this 365-day project and how special this damn thing was to me. And the fact that, this bowling pin, basically, I would carry this fucking thing around because half of these photos I was doing out in public and stuff. And so I would carry this damn bowling pin. I probably should have worn the necklace, here, shouldn't I? And through the magic of editing, here it is. So I'll wear this for the rest. But this bowling pin became this very special thing to me. I would carry it around outside, like anytime I was going to do photos. I would just like be sitting on the train with a bowling pin and people would be like, why does this guy have a fucking bowling pin? Is he mentally ill? And it's like, first of all, yes, but that's not why I have the bowling pin. And so it became this very fucking important and like amazing thing to me. I fucking love that bowling pin. I still, what's funny, when we left our old city in Melbourne, we just basically threw everything out, right? Because we were sort of in a rush. We knew that lockdowns were coming. They had like insane lockdowns where they were like, oh my God, like we're going to lock the entire city down. And we basically fled. We had like one day to flee basically. And we just fled to the country and fled to the countryside, and we had to throw everything out. because and that was very fucking traumatic for us. Like Imogen was just crying the entire time, throwing stuff out, going like, "Why do I have to throw this out?" And like we've talked about this. She hated me for the first like 2 days. She tried not to hate me, but she hated me for the 2 days. She's like, "You made me throw all my stuff out," and I was like, "I know, but this is what's good for us. I promise you." And it was traumatic for me too, because I had to throw out all of the stuff that I'd collected in my 365-day project. And probably the hardest thing to throw out was the bowling pin. It fucking hurt throwing that out. It really did. And so something that Emmy did that was very sweet is on one of our, I think it was our anniversary or maybe our birthday, she went and bought me a little bowling pin. I don't know where the fuck she got this from. I think she might have got it from eBay. But so now I got a bowling pin again. And so I don't know what fucking point I'm making there, but bowling pins, very special to me. Got a tattoo, got a bowling pin, got a bowling pin necklace. I kind of like bowling. Bowling's really fun. I don't bowl much, but yeah, I love bowling. I love the bowling pin. So 365-day projects, very special. I also did, I'll show you this on camera quickly. I also did the podcast one that I talked about where I did a podcast every day. You can go and listen to my podcast at theinnerwinnershow.com, or you can just search on Spotify. Just search for Kill Your Inner Loser on Spotify or Google fucking podcasts or Apple podcasts, whatever. It's all on there. So 365-day projects. I could show Emmy's one if you guys want to see Emmy's one as well. She gets a little more shy about it still, but you know, I can show you guys that if you want. Leave a comment if you care about that. But yeah, the point is like a 365-day project is just this like amazing life-changing thing. I hope that I've sold you on some of the, you know, benefits of it. And even if you're doing something that isn't that creative, like I said, you could go outside every single day and say hello to a stranger, like give a compliment to a stranger. I love your shoes. That's a cool shirt. You're looking fabulous today. I hope you have a really nice day. You look really pretty. You know, to a guy like, bro, that's a sick beard. Good job on that beard. Bro, you look like you got that big dick energy, son. Like, keep going. Like, whatever compliment you want to give some old lady. Like, damn, if I was like 40 years older, grandma, fucking saucy old minx. And she's like, oh, stop it, young man. You're so naughty. And you're like, oh, baby, I'll get fucking, you know, maybe don't creep out old grandmas, but you can. Hey, most grandmas would probably like that. Maybe if you're less creepy about it, you're less like fucking sexual about it. But if you're like, damn, woman, like if I was 40 years older, I would take you out for a nice ice cream soda and we'd listen to some beautiful 50s music on the old record, on the old gramophone. And she's like, oh, I'll doll myself up. And you're like, you do that. And I'll put on my best, my Sunday best. You know, maybe she'd love that. But no matter what you do in a 365-day project, it's incredibly rewarding. And like I said before, I've had some coaching clients and some of you guys that were, you know, that joined me on my last one. The last one, like I said, was about 2 years ago. A bunch of you joined me. I had a guy that did a guitar riff, like he would learn a guitar riff every single day. I had someone else who did, I think it was the cello. Was it the cello or the violin? One of those two. He played some string instrument. I think it was the cello every single day for a year. Did like a little, I think he just uploaded them on his YouTube channel. Just like 30-second bits of music. I've had people that have done 100 lines of code, like coding. A bunch of you are dirty nerds. You know, hey, I'm a dirty nerd as well. A bunch of you dirty nerds do like coding and you know, computery stuff and stuff like that. So you could do something like that. You could, like I said, tell one person something that you're grateful for about them every single day. That would be amazing. You could write one paragraph every single day about anything you want. Doesn't even matter. You don't even have to be a writer, and then share that with other people. You could go onto a self-improvement website. You could go to my forums, or you could go to Reddit, or you could go to any other forum. You know, there's a million different places you could go. Find some self-help or self-improvement group on Facebook and just help one person a day. Even if all you write is like, I see that you're suffering. I hope things get better. I'm here for you. Or like, hey, it looks like you're going through some stuff. I just want you to know that I want you to win, or that I hope you win. Like just something nice. Just say one nice thing to a person every single day. So there's a million different ways that you can go about this 365-day project. I think I've sold you. I think I've ranted enough about how much of a life-changing experience it is. It really, really, really is. I can't understate that enough. Maybe some of what I said, you think, oh, it's kind of exaggerating. It's like, no, shut your mouth. I am correct. Unequivocally correct. a 365-day project legitimately changes your life if you commit to it, if you do it properly. Like, don't half-ass it. Don't skip any days. Something else that you can do that I didn't talk about before is if you're doing, let's say you're putting something on the internet like I am. Again, I'm going to do a YouTube video or a short or a podcast or an article or a BDSM artwork, right? If you're putting something like that on the internet, what you can do is something I call buffers, and Cam, my friend, does this. I did this in the last one. I did this in the photography one. I did this in the podcast one, where you like pre-record a couple of things. So maybe you sit down one day and you do like 3 artworks, and you kind of like save them. I would save them like in the bank for if something really catastrophic happens. So like, let's say you have a day where your internet just breaks and your phone explodes and, you break your legs and I don't know, a homeless man comes and pees on you as well, and then a dog bites your knees, and then, a car hits you as well. You're probably not going to paint something on that day, right? But you have these buffers already like kind of ready to go, and so you can just go on your phone and go like, all right, I got to upload this photo that I already had, and then you just hit send. So I did that quite a few times in my photography one. I did that a couple of times in my podcast one, probably like, I don't know, like 30 times or something. You will have bad days. So let's make that clear that I think the rules include you're allowed to use a buffer. You're allowed to have pre-recorded content. I would just not take the piss with that. So I would only use it on a day where it's like, no, I really just not today. I don't want to have to think about it. On a day where you feel like you're kind of on the fence about it, you're like, I could use one of my buffers or I could do a new one. Push yourself to do a new one. You will always be very glad that you did something that day. Again, the idea of the 365-day project is that most of the days you're doing something every single day, or you're at least uploading something every single day. Again, that's my purpose here, is not to necessarily record something every day, though I am going to try and do that. It's more something has to be published every single day. But for the most part, I think I'm going to go for like a 90% rate of like I recorded it on that day. And I would encourage you guys to do the same thing. So what I definitely don't think is within the like guidelines, not that there are rules on this, but it's not within the intention of a 365-day project, would be if you did something like you sit down for 1 week and you just record like 3 months worth of content, or you paint, fucking 100 artworks and then just post it. I don't think that's quite the thing. The whole point of this is to be keeping up the habit every day, or almost every single day, like most days, and to be connected with yourself, connected with the outside world, whatever it is. And so even if you use buffers, I would still publish them one a day, right? So don't use a scheduler. I wouldn't use a scheduler. Don't schedule for like posts in the future. Like, have them all saved on your computer or painted on your, piece of paper or whatever, your canvas, but don't schedule them. So wake up every day, and even if you feel sick, go, okay, I have to still upload and still hit send, or whatever it is. Or if you're doing something that isn't uploading, like if you're going outside and giving a compliment to a stranger, obviously do that every single day. I wouldn't use like buffers on that. Do you get what I mean? Like, I wouldn't go out one day and give 3 compliments to 3 strangers so that I don't have to do it for the next 2 days. It's like, no, do something every single day. Especially something easy like giving a compliment to a stranger, even if you're sick, even if you're in fucking hospital and you're in agonizing pain and the nurse comes over, you'd be like, fuck nurse, oh my God, like my leg fucking hurts, like, I shouldn't have tried to have sex with that porcupine, I'm in so much pain, but you're looking fabulous today, nurse, fuck, like, good job. So you can always do something every single day. Buffers, I think, are fine as long as you sort of have them a couple pre-recorded at most. I wouldn't sit there and have like fucking 15 buffers or something, because that is taking the piss. Again, remember, even when my grandfather died and I was sad and I had to go to the funeral and all of that shit, like the last thing on my mind was like doing a project. But again, this is where it sort of pulls you up and it becomes like greater than yourself. You're like, no, like this project is important. My grandfather would have wanted me to finish this project. So I'm just going to snap a quick fucking photo of a flower and then snap a photo of me lying on the grass, and I'll just upload it from my phone. It'll be crappy, low quality. Who cares? Like, done. So I would do something every single day. Highly recommend you guys do this thingy. What else we got here? Draw something. Yeah, you could draw something every day for a year. You could smile at one person every day for a year, like a big fucking happy smile. Publish one piece of content every day for a year. And I would set the bar, if this wasn't clear, I would set the bar really low. Set it to something that you'll do even on your worst day. So for me, the mission is I have to post one thing. And if it's a podcast or a YouTube video, even if I don't feel like talking, the minimum is just 5 minutes of talking. And when I did my last podcast, my 365 day podcast, there was a day I can remember, there was a couple of days, but one in particular where I just really didn't fucking feel like doing a podcast. And I literally called the podcast, I don't want to be here today. And I sat down and I said, guys, I don't want to be here today. I don't want to talk to you today. I don't want to do this. And then it turned into this like 15-minute, really good freaking podcast of me just like talking out how I felt. And then kind of as I'm talking, I'm like, so maybe the point of this is, maybe the purpose of me sitting down right now is to say it's not about your feelings. It's not about you. It's about something more important than you. It's about the goddamn project and you finishing it. You finishing what you started. You giving this content to other people that hopefully helps some of them. And it became this sort of like very motivating podcast, which started out as me saying, I don't want to fucking do this. And so as long as you set the bar really low, if it's artwork, I literally just have to paint for 1 minute, paint a stick figure. If it's a piece of content, I can write 1 paragraph. For me in this project, I'm saying 3 paragraphs minimum because I can write pretty easily. But if you're someone that hasn't written much, maybe you say 4 sentences. I just have to write 1 paragraph. Or I have to do 5 minutes of talking. Or I have to just draw a stick figure. Or I have to just walk outside and say to one person something nice. Even just, hi, I hope you have a good day. Well, thank you for making my coffee. I hope the rest of your day is great. Just something every day. So I would set that bar stupidly low, really, really, really low, so that even on your worst day, again, there was, my grandfather died. I had to go to the funeral. I had food poisoning one day, and I had the flu for a couple of days. And I really didn't feel like doing something. So I set the bar stupidly low. Just take a selfie. So set it so low that you'll never not do it. So, guys, now we get to the call to action for those of you who like marketing terms. I fucking hate marketing terms, but call to action. This is the time where you guys join me. You guys got to do this project too. I'll be very disappointed if every single one of you doesn't join. I will legitimately throw myself off the balcony. Legitimately. Now, there is a pool at the bottom of the balcony, and hopefully I hit that, but you don't want to see me throw myself off the balcony. So join the project. Honestly, I don't care if you don't join the project. I want you guys to join the project, but I hope it's good. I'm not going to jump off a fucking building. But yeah, if you guys would like to do this project, it is a commitment, obviously, but it's life-changing. Don't do it if you're not going to take it seriously. I'll say that. There were quite a few people that started last year, or last time, a couple of years ago when I did the podcast one. There were quite a few people that started but didn't finish. There were a lot of people that started and finished. Like one of the guys in my coaching program right now actually is almost finished his 365-day project. So he started it like well after me, maybe like a year and a half after I started, but he's almost finished. I had a guy on the channel who talked about his cello playing. I mentioned him a little while ago. He would have finished by now. I had a guy that was taking like a Tinder photo every single day, and he'd just like update his Tinder constantly every day, and he'd put them on social media. I've had a few people that do like photo manipulations, like Photoshop artwork like I do. I've had some people just do artwork. So there are a lot of people that joined from the last one and finished it. So you'll be in good company. I think maybe 20 or so people finished it. Those are only the ones I know about as well. A hell of a lot of people just didn't tell me. And then I would stumble upon their log or something on the forums and I'd be like, bro, you're doing a 365-day project? What the fuck? Okay, here's another one we had. We had a guy, his name is Spider Jerusalem, and he posted every single day for a year on the forums. He'd write these logs, like he'd, progress. It was almost like a diary for him. And he would it was a diary for him. He'd post every single day. So that's another one you can do. That's an easy one. Post every single day for a year. Share your thoughts, share your emotions, share your struggles, share what you're going through, share your victories, share your losses, share your learning experiences. And there are no losses really. They're all learning experiences, but share all of that every day. That's an easy one. So I push you guys, or I will push you guys. I would like you guys to do a 365-day project if you want to. Don't do it if you don't want to. Obviously, I'm not your dad. I could be your dad. I don't think I'm your dad, but I'm not your dad. Maybe I'm your dad. But yeah, do that. If you guys want to push, obviously I have coaching. That's right there for you, the group or the one-on-one. I'll leave a link in the description below to that. I am going to be pushing. I'm going to be nagging, pushing, encouraging my 360 or my clients to do a 365-day project. I don't know if they all will. I'm pretty sure a couple of them will. If I nag in there, I will probably also post this on the forums and nag a couple of people. So hello to everyone on the forums watching this. Leave a comment. What I would like you guys to do, if you guys do start one, leave a comment below. And I suspect I'm going to get a lot of comments over the next 2 or 3 weeks, because it does take some people a little bit of time or encouragement or courage to do it. And you're probably going to see me mention my 365-day project over the next couple of weeks. But leave a comment once you've started it. Don't leave a comment saying that you're going to do it. I don't care about what you're going to do. That means nothing. Broken promises, broken hearts. People will say all the time. And I'm not picking on you guys. I'm saying it's like human nature. Human nature is that we promise something and then, things change. Like we break promises. We fall through on commitments. So I'm not interested. I've done podcasts on this. Don't talk about what you will do. Talk about what you have done. Nobody cares what you're going to do. They care about the action you've already taken because that's tangible. That's a real thing. So start day one of your project. So if it's art, draw something. Draw a fucking stick figure. If it's, content, just do one piece of content. If it's going outside and saying hello to a stranger, do that. Go say hello to one stranger. You could do something like talking to one woman a day. Now, that one might be... Yeah, depending on where you live, I think most of you have access to at least one woman every single day. And any of you women listening that want to come out of your show, talk to one guy a day. Just say, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to be like, hey, big boy, you're so sexy. Look at those big fucking muscles. Can I have your number? You don't have to be like that, but just be like, hi. And if you're a guy, just say hi to a woman. Hi. Hi, how's your day going? You could literally just walk past a woman on the street and be like, hi. And she's like, hi. And then you just keep walking. So something like that would be great. But once you've done day one, once you've actually taken the first bit of action, leave a comment in the description. Leave a comment in the comment section. Don't leave a comment in the description. That's where I leave my fucking comments. You get the fuck out of my description. That's for me. That's for daddy. You guys leave your comments in the goddamn comment section like the plebs that you are. Below the fucking description. You see the hierarchy? Description at the top, comments down the bottom. I love you guys. I'm full of shit. I love you guys. But yeah, tell me once you've done day one, once you've done something. We will have a ton of fun with this. Again, if you want to push coaching, I'm there for you guys. I'm still doing those $150 30-minute calls if you want those, $150 US 30-minute calls. Those are going really well. I'm having a ton of fun with those. You guys are coming with some great fucking questions. I'm having a lot of fun with those. Changing lives, having fun, good shit. I'll offer those. Yeah, I'll leave links to everything that I've mentioned here because I know I've mentioned a bunch of shit. I will leave a link to Cam's channel as well. Go check him out if you guys want style advice. Check him out and just say, okay, he's going to watch this video. I know he is fuck. So this kind of won't work, but like go to his channel, guys, go to his channel and let's come up with some sort of like inside joke that we all say to him. I don't know, something about the hole. Just mention the holes in the shirt. Just be like, bro, is it true that you had holes in your shirt? Yeah, just say that. Just say, is it true that you had holes in your shirt? But, the main thing I want you guys to do, if you want to start the project, day one, comment what you've done, go harass Cam, tell him you're grateful for him. Tell him something nice. Say, hey, Cam, like the forums are great. They wouldn't exist without you. Yeah, there you go. Don't say the holes thing in the shirt. Just say, Cam, I really appreciate you, man. Just say that. Cam, I really appreciate you. That'd be fucking nice. All right, guys, go out there, crush your goals, have fun, live a little, do some cool shit, do a 365-day project, have a mission that's more important than you, have something that pulls you higher, a greater purpose, a mission. Yeah, it's such a wonderful, fucking loving, amazing, kick-ass experience. You get to build this portfolio, this beautiful like monument to your hard work and your discipline and your, tenacity and your ability to just see a project through. So go out there, guys, crush those goals. I will see you next time.